In this video, we're going to take a look at the Bitseeds application. We're going to just give it a quick general overview. And if you are a quick study with computers and you've picked things up easily, then this video might be all you need to know to be able to get up and running using Bitseeds or really any other cryptocurrency. Since most of the wallet applications for Windows or Mac, they all work pretty much the same way. And speaking of Windows and Mac, there is one difference between the Windows version and the Mac version of this program. So let's just take a quick look at this one difference, very tiny little difference between the Mac version and the Windows version, and then we'll go and continue with an overview. And then from there, we'll go to other lessons where I will go more in depth for those people who do need the additional help. So what we're looking at right now, this is the Windows version of the Bitseeds wallet application. And this is the Mac version. Now, if you look at the window, it's essentially identical aside from a couple of little cosmetic differences. If you look at the very top of your entire screen on a Mac, up next to the Apple logo, you will see a program menu, an application menu, and that has the name of whatever program or application that you're in. So if I click on the desktop, for example, it says Finder. If I click back on the Bitseeds window, it says Bitseeds QT. So if you're looking for the preferences for this, which control the settings for the program, then you would find that in the Bitseeds application menu under Preferences. And that would open up a window, looks like this, and it has a number of different settings, which we'll cover in a different lesson in more detail. Now, going back to the Windows version, you will see, of course, on a Windows machine, there is no menu bar that is at the very top of the entire screen. Instead, each program window has its own menu bar that is below the title bar. So here we see File, Settings, and Help, and those are going to give you all the same basic information and all the various menu options that you would find in the equivalent menus on the Mac. Now, when you open it up, you will end up on the dashboard. That is this first screen, and it has, you can see this series of tabs on the left-hand column here that allows you to navigate between the different tabs. And you start off on Dashboard. It has it's sort of the home base for the program, and it gives you how much of the currency that you have available to spend, how much is staking, which is where it's basically gaining interest. Unconfirmed means the currency that you've received but hasn't sort of cleared into your account, so to speak, and then your total. On the right-hand side of that same window, you will see the same screen, you will see recent transactions. This is a brand new wallet that I've installed, so there are no transactions yet. But if you continue watching these lessons, when I show you how to send and receive, you're going to actually see the transactions happening, and you'll see them listed here. So keep an eye out for that in the later lessons. On the Receive tab, this is where you would create a new address with this button down here to receive funds. It comes with an address, but I encourage you to make a new address for each transaction, or at least for every person or organization that you're dealing with. Send is where you put in an address, type in a label for your own reference and how much you want to send, and send it. Transactions gives you a complete list of all the transactions, incoming and outgoing, as well as staking. And the address book is where it stores addresses when you are sending people funds, and it keeps track of that so you can send it to them again easily. Now, looking at the bottom left corner of the window, you will see 4 different indicators, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's start with the one on the right here. This will look like one of 2 things. It's either going to look like the animation you're seeing right now, it's just a little spinning arrow, or it will, if it's completed what it's doing, then it will show a green check mark. And this basically just shows that it's synchronizing, and it's downloading the blockchain, which is that public ledger system that is used by Bitcoin and Bitseeds and other cryptocurrencies. It's a series of blocks, each of which contain multiple transactions. When somebody sends or receives funds, for example, one block goes after another into a chain, and this is basically downloading every single one of those blocks. If you go to the next thing over, it shows how many connections I just opened this up, so it's only established one active connection, but over time it usually should pick up multiple connections. The next icon over here, which is not showing much, you can't really see it right now, it becomes more visible when you're actually staking. Once you have coins in your account, in your wallet, and you hold them for a long enough period of time, they mature. And once they mature, then you are able to gain interest on them through a process called staking that I'm going to cover in a little more detail in a separate lesson. And then this last one over here is a padlock icon, and if it's open like it is right now, then the wallet is not encrypted. If it's closed, then it's encrypted. And essentially that's a form of protection to require a password before using the wallet. And the downside to that is if it is currently encrypted and locked, then you can't stake coins, so you can't gain interest. So it's a trade-off. Okay, now that I've done some transactions, recording some other lessons, I wanted to come back to this video and just tag this little section in here so that you could actually see what it looked like. I mentioned earlier that when you do transactions, you have recent transactions that will show up on the dashboard page of the wallet application. And as you can see, there is now one transaction showing under recent transactions. And I can mouse over it and it will give me a little bit of detail. It's a new transaction, so it's not confirmed yet. If I click once on it, it will take me to a list of all the transactions. Again, on this particular wallet, there's just been the one. And of course, I can double click this to get more details like I talked about in the Transactions tab video. So that's a quick overview of the Bitseeds wallet. If you're a quick study, like I said before, this probably is giving you everything you need to get up and running. But don't worry, if you need more detailed help, I will be covering much more detail, step by step. We're going to go to each one of these tabs and I'll go over everything that you need to know about how to send and receive Bitseeds and use this form of cryptocurrency.